Hello you guys, it is finally time to read the last book in the Mortal Instruments saga. Oh my god, I am so scared but so excited. I think I am ready for what I'm assuming to be 700 pages of pure action, just because the third book was very much action based. There was like no time for breath, so I'm assuming the last book will be very similar in that sense. It's a massive book, very intimidating, if I can say that. But yeah, without further ado, let's just get started. Okay, I've actually only read the prologue, so I haven't read that much. I've been obsessed with watching Banana streams, and yeah, I just watched a stream of hers. She was playing Little Nightmares. Amazing, I love that game, it's so good. Anyway, I have been dreaming of making a chocolate cake for about a month. And finally it is time for me to make it today, so I'm gonna put my audiobook on and make the cake. So, you know, join me as I make the cake. It is the next day. Here are the cakes. I need to decorate. I have to let them rest through the night because obviously they were kind of too warm. They took so long to cook, much longer than the recipe said, unfortunately, but they do taste amazing. But they rested through the night, so now I can decorate. I thought I'd take this time to talk about what has happened. Obviously, at the end of the City of Fallen Angels, we find out that Jonathan / Sebastian has created a new mortal cup and is using demon blood inside of it to turn shadow hunters into dark shadow hunters, basically. So he's creating bad shadow hunters that are gonna basically kill people and not protect them, as the shadow hunters have been created for. And at the beginning of this book, we are in Emma's head. Emma is a new character, and I think she comes in the Dark Artifices series. I don't know, but she is going to be a new protagonist in that series. And we find out that Sebastian is attacking the Los Angeles Institute. So basically, Sebastian Jonathan is on the run, and he is attacking all the institutes except for the New York ones, because I guess he wants to leave it for the end. I don't know, because obviously that's where the action, Clary, Jace, Alec, and all that lot are. So I'm guessing he wants to save the best for last. And because of those attacks, the Clave has decided that all shadow hunters that remain, which are mainly the ones that were in New York or not in an institute at the time of attacks, or the people that have survived the Los Angeles attack, have to go to Idris, which is obviously the land of shadow hunters that is protected by wards and is very difficult to break into. We are also getting like snippets of Emma. We had like a page of like her waking up and finding out what has happened the night before in chapter 2. I don't know if we're gonna keep getting her POVs or not. I do like that we're kind of getting like the introduction to like a new POV for the new series that comes after this series. A lot of things kind of happened, but also not really. So I don't know. It's just very sweet. I might not do it like very thick on the top, but I'll let you know what I decide. Okay, as it turned out, it wasn't all of the institutes that were attacked by Jonathan. It was like a couple of like major ones, like Berlin, Moscow, something like that. I don't know. But ever since then, he's been picking fights. He attacked the Iron Sisters, which was a big deal, and we found out that maybe there is a way to defeat him, because when he was fighting with Jace, he got burnt by some kind of magic. I don't know, he attacked Jace, and because of it, like, the fire burnt him from inside of Jace. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, I do appreciate that Jocelyn's character isn't done dirty as much as it was in the TV show, because bro, what they did to her in the TV show, that was so bad. It was so she was not a great character in the show. Simon was kidnapped and then he got broken out, and now he's in Idris as well. Okay, so it turns out that Jace can't control the heavenly fire in him. So when he tried to kill Jonathan again with the fire, he couldn't, because he didn't know how to use it. So now we have this problem that there is a way to kill Jonathan, but they just don't know how to activate it in a way. Ugh. Bro. And also, Jonathan has threatened the Downworlders to back away from the Shadowhunters. Stop backing them. Stop being their allies, because if not, they're gonna end up dead. And he killed a lot of Downworlders already to make his point. Yeah, and now we have to deal with the consequences of that. Downworlders will not want to ally themselves with the Shadowhunters. So now the Shadowhunters won't have enough warriors and they will be basically left for dead. I have reached the halfway point of the book. Wow. Jonathan has kidnapped all the Downworlder representatives that were supposed to be voting on whether to ally with the Shadowhunters in the war against Jonathan, and he demanded that the Shadowhunters and the Clave give him Clary and Jace in exchange for the safe return of the Downworlder representatives, which include Luke, Jocelyn, Magnus. So, you know, it's kind of crazy, and of course Jace, Clary, Alec, Simon and Isabel come up with their own plan on how to trap Jonathan and get the Downworlder representatives themselves, so they are on their way to hell. Okay, yeah, so I have no idea if there's gonna be another battle in hell with just Jonathan, or they're just planning to assassinate him, or maybe trying to fight all the Endarkened Shadowhunters, but there's like 500 of them, so I don't know how they're planning on doing that. But it is super, super nice today. It's like 26 degrees, so I am planning on going to have a little picnic by myself in the park, so let's go to the park together. As much as I hate to say this, I think City of Heavenly Fire was a little bit underwhelming. I think there is so much to be said about City of Heavenly Fire. I think I was just expecting so much more than what we got from it. I think I wanted the same drama that we got from City of Glass. However, I think because it was so massive, it's a massive book. It's definitely the longest one of the series, and you can tell. There were definitely bits that were a little bit slow and a little bit boring for me. However, the second half of the book definitely was much more substantial. There was so much more action, and that's why I gave this book 4 stars and this series an overall 4 stars. I think the ending itself broke my heart in half and then mended it together, which I absolutely loved. At first I was like, oh my god, how can you have the balls to actually do this? Like, I can't believe this. I couldn't believe that Cassandra was gonna do this to me, and then I was like, oh my god, that ending is absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait to read the book that this will follow, which is the Shadowhunter Academy, I think it's called. I don't remember, but yeah, it's definitely very exciting. My camera did have a little bit of a technical emergency and my mic stopped working, so this is my third time recording this review, so I'm sorry if I'm missing a little bit of information or my opinion. I think I cannot remember what I said already because it's been like 2 days and I just forgot what I said, but what I wanted to say is that this series is definitely a massive throwback for me. Not that I read it as a teen or anything like that, but it's just very reminiscent of those books that I read as a teen, and I really loved it. I really enjoyed Cassandra Clare's writing and how easily it just flowed. I think that's what makes the difference about this series, the writing just flowing so nicely. You don't find yourself wanting to stop even if there are slower passages. In this book we got a little bit of snippets from Emma and Julian, which are the main characters of the Dark Artifices series. Very, very excited to read that series. I already fell in love with them in this one, and I definitely want to see where they're gonna go. We also got some main characters from the Infernal Devices series, and I think I'm going to be reading that series next, and I'm definitely excited to record the videos and show you my reactions and share my thoughts and opinions and my reviews. I am a little bit sad because I feel like we know how the series is going to end. I wish I kind of read that series first because it's a prologue in a way, but I'm still excited to read them. What I really enjoyed about this series is what I've already said in my previous videos, the growth we saw from the main characters, and especially Larry and Jace. I think the growth they had throughout this whole series is so impeccable. It's done so well. You see them going from these very like normal teenagers, kind of a little bit annoying or snarky, to actual young adults having immense change, and I think that change is what really propelled this story. We can see how much more confident they are. We can see how much more self-sufficient they become. They definitely are less dependent on their adult figures in their life, and I think it's amazing to see that, and also how the circumstances and events in their life impact them and each character, and how each character reacts to those changes. I think that's what really makes this series. So yeah, that will be all for today. I am so glad that you joined me on this journey, and thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!